all
Let's
Wednesday.
do.
So
Let's preview our pre-podcast. So
all right. So let me tell you about.
Let's preview of what we're going to talk about on Wednesday.
Okay, so here's the thing. As of right now, the entries are only officially listed on the website in the men's 100, the men's mile, the men's shot, the women's 8, women's 100, women's 15, and women's steeple. So there's over half the events where we don't know who's running.
Great.
And
That's
hopefully
awesome.
that'll change, hopefully.
By Wednesday.
Yeah, that's why you don't. But what are we going to talk about? I mean, we talked about the headliner, that women's 100. But every single one of these races, for a postseason race, not postseason is the wrong word. Post Olympics. You have to just say it's post Olympics because postseason implies it's the most important part of the season. But it's it's the postseason. That's what it is. The postseason. Every single one of them is going to be good. Pre already attracts everybody. All the Nike athletes, pretty much, if they want you to go, need to show up unless you have a really good excuse. You combine that with all these Olympic rematches and the specter of fast times too. I don't know if the weather's going to cooperate, but you have a Thing Mo in the 8 with the capability of running real fast. You have Faith Kipyegon in the 1500 with the capability of running a crazy time. In the men's mile, you're going to have Chariot and Ingebrigtsen. Again, we know what they can do when they collab. So the possibility there is really just fast times. I know it's not the only story going into a race. I know people want to see the matchups, but now, since the big head-to-heads have already happened, I think
I lost you again. You said since the big head-to-heads have already happened, and then you cut out.
I think a lot of the focus will be on time because what's a bigger story? I mean, if Chariot gets revenge on Ingebrigtsen again and then puts his record to 1 and or now he's
Yeah.
one now he's 12-1 against Ingebrigtsen. Well, people are gonna be like, man, but he got you when it counted this year. I think more it's going to track onto the times because the capability of being really quick is there. But here's the thing: we talked about wanting to see Norman and Bromell one more time, and we're going to get them both in the 100. So literally every single race that I've seen the entries for is going to give us something to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, right now, top 3 events I'm looking forward to in no particular order. Norman and Bromell in the 100 to see what they can do. Mainly just Norman in the 100. If Norman goes out there and runs another 9.8, and after seeing Bracy run a 9.8, and we have all these 9.8 guys, and we're going to be like, how did a country with like 5 9.8 guys not make the Olympic final in the 4x1? It's just going to be laughable, right? Then obviously I want to see a Thing Mo in that 8. I'm excited to see what she does when she's pushed to time. She has yet to really. I truly think she hasn't run an all-out 800 yet this year, and she's undefeated in running the 800. She's going to win, obviously, but now she gets to chase something that she never was told to chase, which is all-time marks, right? Because there's no need to chase an all-time mark in February and April when she ran her Waco 800, right? She was chasing, I guess, a mark. She was chasing collegiate records, right? Knocking those off. But now that that's done, and now that the U.S. record is already done, the next thing to chase is all-time world records. So that's exciting. And then obviously the thing that we're going to care about most and probably the rest of the world's going to care about most is how does Sha'Carri do in this women's 100. It's perfect. You have all 3 Olympic medalists in the same race. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, a lot of people are going to take the race and say, yes, wherever Sha'Carri finishes in this race is where she would have finished at the Olympics. Obviously, that's not really
silly.
true because
That's silly.
it's 2 different races, but for takes purposes, it's going to be good. For Jamaica, when Sha'Carri gets beat, it's going to be confirmation. For the U.S., when Sha'Carri wins, it's going to be confirmation, right? So either way, it's going to be a confirmation for half the world and confirmation for the other half of the world. I'm just excited for it. I wish I could bet on it to make back my $277. I'm not. I'll let you know what I'll bet. We'll give our official picks on Wednesday of what we think is going to happen in that women's 100. I
You know
have
what?
thoughts. I have
You
thoughts.
know what? Yeah, I know. You think it's going to be slow because just like you predicted at the Olympics.
I do think it's going to be slow. That's
See,
actually true.
that is a take from yours that I would not have guessed if I played the guess Gordon's bad take game. I would not have guessed you just said Shakari Richardson being in a race would make the race slower because faster people make a race slow. I would not have dreamed you
Well,
have
here's
gone
the
there.
thing, though. Here's the thing. There is a legitimate chance this race is definitely going to be slower than the Olympic final. You know that, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think someone's going to
Right.
run a
And
10
so, therefore,
5.
I could
Yeah.
argue, hey, Shakari's
No,
there, and the
stop,
race got
stop,
slower.
stop, stop, stop.
Obviously, it's not Shakari. It's because it's
Speaking of
a one
confirmation
race
bias.
final. But yeah,
Well, here's the thing, too. When you talk about gambling, I was thinking about this. Those lines they put out were pretty good. And I know you thought at the beginning, hey, I know a lot about track. Maybe there's some value here. But it turned out you were a little bit behind. Not crazy. Like you could have gotten
no,
beaten by a
I
lot more.
disagree.
But like they knew what they were doing. But that's probably because they put a lot of time, energy, and research into it. I know with football and stuff, they have crazy advanced algorithms to determine lines. I don't know if they have that with track and field. So I don't think they're not gonna throw up a bunch of meets now just to put track meets out there without doing the requisite research. And the research isn't worth it for them if they're not going to get a bunch of action. Olympics, they'll get action.